The Swedish Transport Agency has presented the report on the government's commission concerning short tractors, which means that road safety of these vehicles is now becoming of wider national interest. In its report, the agency tends to look mainly at the simulation study done at its request. VTI's study appears to point to a claim that short tractors are in fact very safe. Instead, VTI say that the Nordic truck and drawbar trailer is a very unsafe combination. VTI establish that the distance between the drive axle and the fifth wheel is of greater consequence than the wheelbase measurement on a short tractor. These dimensions are closely related to one another, and within the 16.5 meter length limitation, there is practically no degree of adjustability. Instead, the torque arm should be highlighted, that is, the distance from the steering wheels or front wheels to the fifth wheel. The drawing shows that this measurement cannot be changed within the 16.5 meter limitation. The drawing also shows that the distance of the fifth wheel to the drive axle can only be changed if the drive axle is moved further back under the trailer. Such a change of the wheelbase results in anything but an optimal distribution of the axle loads from the point of view of vehicle dynamics. VTI's calculations show that the wheelbase has some influence, but not to a degree of significance. I consider it quite remarkable that a wheelbase of 3.9 meters is regarded as being long. VTI's own results show that a speed increase of 1 kilometer per hour per decimeter increase of the wheelbase is attainable. In the diagram in Figure 10, I have added some trend lines. The black-red-black line shows quite distinctly that the simulation cases involved become worse with decreasing wheelbase. The pusher and bogie vehicles appear to be the worst of all. Thank you, VTI, for having shown this so clearly, but why depreciate it? When we translate this into a reasonable wheelbase and assume a tractor with 4.1 meters axle distance plus 0.5 meters to get the theoretical wheelbase, a full 16% improvement occurs. Just because a sensible wheelbase cannot be used within the 16.5 meter limit, it should not lead to a depreciation of the importance of the wheelbase in general. What is forgotten is that the short EU tractors in the Nordic countries are increasingly being used in combinations that are not at all subject to the 16.5 meter limitation, but are much longer. This is not good at all. VTI emphasize that tractor combinations are much more stable than the Nordic truck and drawbar trailer combination. VTI's own report shows that tractor combinations are, on the contrary, very sensitive to both fifth wheel internal friction and load distribution. See the circled values where the pusher and bogie variant again turn out to be worst in class. The truck and drawbar trailer combination, that is the group to the far left, shows very even values for all load cases. Already in the 1980s, I got to know about VTI's opinion that tractor-trailer combinations were superior in stability to truck-drawbar trailer combinations. I have reflected upon this since then. At the time I, or rather Boliden for whom I worked, had use of VTI's simulation program in that it facilitated the approval of a special trailer vehicle. Sure, the fifth wheel coupling does provide a certain amount of stability, but this is only in the initial stage of an evasive action or when entering a roundabout. The trailer that has not yet started its change of direction stabilizes the tractor to begin with, and this can give the driver a false apprehension of stability. Not only this, but the electronic stability system also gets a delayed signal. For a truck drawbar trailer combination, the circumstances are quite different, since the load and the truck are united in one piece. It is annoying that the agency has accepted VTI's insufficient report, which claims tractors to be stable and safe, and that they uncritically are fixed on the track deviation for the truck drawbar trailer combination. This means that they have not realized that a truck drawbar trailer is driven in quite a different way. The driver gets an early warning that his speed is too fast. The explanation is that the loaded truck is one homogeneous mass which is allowed to sway or roll. But in the case of the tractor, it is prevented to roll due to the mass of the trailer, which will not roll until the trailer's axle group changes direction, or, in other words, when the trailer's axles enter the roundabout. It is difficult to correctly define a fifth wheel in a simulation model. This is probably the reason for the praise behind the good stability of tractors. It must be borne in mind that simulation models are based on a simplified reality. There is absolutely no economical reason to engage oneself in this. But road safety is the ultimate driving force, and when government institutes close their eyes to reality and fabricate statements based on theoretical calculations that do not agree with reality, then one must react. Maybe the only research report that has pinpointed the problem concerning the influence of the tractor wheelbase on vehicle stability is the Woodruff and L. Gildy report from the National Research Council of Canada from 1990. Practical experience shows that it is just as valid today as it was then. The historical influence of the railway has obviously not had the same effect in the USA on length restrictions of vehicles or parts thereof as in Europe. In 1982, it was realized in the US that it was not the total length of the combination that should be regulated, but instead the load length. Gradually, the vehicle fleet was changed from cab-over-engine tractors to normal trucks as we see them today in North America. Statistics show that the number of reported accidents was reduced, probably in part due to this change. One might say, the wood could not be seen for all the trees. Finally, may I propose that all semi-trailer combinations longer than 16.5 meters and intended for use with a gross vehicle weight exceeding 44 metric tons should be made with a tractor 1.25 meters longer. This sequence is from a test on ice and snow. Note how the truck continues straight forward, although the front wheels are fully turned. When the truck reaches the rougher snow surface, the driver must quickly return the steering wheel, a maneuver barely possible at normal road speed. Thanks for your attention.